I was 12 when my life flipped upside down in less than a day. I mean, one minute I was just a quiet girl from the east side of Detroit, obsessed with library books and dreaming about medical school, and the next, I'm holding a billionaire's life in my hands, then finding out he's my dad. Yeah, my actual biological father. But let me back up. We lived in this tiny apartment, me and my mom, Trina. One bedroom, cracked walls, a stove that hissed like it had asthma. She worked 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. Morning shift at a nursing home, afternoons cleaning law offices, and weekend cashiering at the discount grocery store. Every single penny she had went to rent, ramen noodles, and when she cooed me dream. I always told her I'd be Dr. Trina Jr. one day, and she'd laugh, not because it was impossible, but because she wanted so bad to believe it might be true. I wasn't like other kids in my neighborhood. While they were playing video games or posting on TikTok, I'd be curled up in the corner of McClellan Public Library, flipping through anatomy textbooks I barely understood, but I was hungry, you know? Not for food, but for purpose. That hunger only got stronger after I watched my friend Sean's big brother collapse from an asthma attack right in front of our building. I still remember how scared everybody was, grown folks screaming, not knowing what to do. And I remember thinking, I don't want to ever feel that helpless again. So when my school held this science fair about emergency medical inventions, I built a DIY EpiPen using a spring-loaded marker, some saline solution, and a lot of duct tape. It won first place in the whole city. Prize: a partial scholarship to join a school trip to London. London, y'all. First time out of Michigan, let alone out of the country. But it came with a catch. My mom still had to cover $1,000. 1,000 might as well have been 1,000,000 to us. But she took extra shifts and said, "Baby girl, we gon' get you there." That's just who she was. A fighter. The night before the flight, I got up to grab water and overheard her whispering into the phone real low and shaky. She said, "It's been 12 years. She deserves to know the truth." When I asked her about it, she lied and said it was a debt collector. I didn't push, but something about the way her eyes wouldn't meet mine stuck with me. At the airport, security pulled me aside, asked a bunch of questions they didn't ask the white kids. Searched my bag twice. My teacher, Ms. Harris, whispered, "Keep your head high. Your mind's gonna take you places they'll never go." That stuck with me too. We board the flight. I sit way in the back, near the engines. But up front, there's this fancy-looking white guy with silver hair, tailored suit, drinking champagne like he invented grapes. I recognized him from some tech article I read. Warren Caldwell, the CEO of Caldwell Systems, worth like $15 billion. The kind of guy who probably hasn't pumped his own gas since the 90s. 3 hours into the flight, there's a commotion up front. Flight attendants running, intercom crackling. "If there's a doctor on board, please make yourself known immediately." No one stands. Nobody. I peek up the aisle, and it's Mr. Billionaire himself, passed out, blue lips, wheezing. Something just clicked in me. I jumped up and ran to first class, heart pounding, but I knew. I knew that look wasn't cardiac. "He's having an allergic reaction," I told the flight crew. "He needs epinephrine." Now, they told me to sit down. I told them to check his tray. Sure enough, almond slivers in his dessert. Long story short, I helped save his life. They landed the plane in Toronto. Paramedics came rushing in. Before they wheeled him out, he looked at me and whispered, "You look just like Marnie." Then he passed out again. I didn't know who Marnie was, but something about how he said it, like he'd seen a ghost, it rattled me. Now here's where things get really weird. We're all in this waiting room at the airport when some suited man shows up. Says he's Warren Caldwell's assistant, and the man wants to thank me in person. My teacher's hesitant, but the school had already given the green light. So we go. They don't take us to the hospital, they take us to this private lounge. And there he is. Warren, sitting up, color back in his face, and staring at me like I was the missing puzzle piece he'd been looking for his whole life. He starts asking me all these questions about school, my mom, where I live, what I want to be. Then it gets personal. Like, where were you born? What's your mom's full name? When's your birthday? I told him. And he just froze. He pulls out a check. 50 grand. Says it's for my education. Then, before we leave, he whispers to his assistant, I found her. Marnie's daughter. Y'all Marnie was his late wife. Fast forward a few days in London. My mom shows up. Says Warren invited her. And then, everything spilled out. Warren was my father. They'd had a thing years ago, before he got mega rich. His wife Marnie found out, and paid my mom off 10 grand to disappear. My mom took it, scared and young, trying to protect me. She told me my dad had died before I was born. I was so hurt. I ran away into the London streets, crying in the rain like a damn movie scene. Ended up in a convenience store soaked and freezing. 2 cops started questioning me, and just when I thought things might go real bad, this woman Nama stepped in. Said she was my cousin and took me home with her. That night, we stayed up talking. I told her everything. She just nodded and said, sometimes, identity isn't about who made you. It's about who shows up for you. Then the news broke. Billionaire's secret black daughter discovered on international flight. My face was everywhere. Reporters dug into everything. Stock prices tanked. Suddenly, I wasn't a kid anymore, I was a headline. Warren made a big public gesture. Offered me everything. Full tuition, a new house, fancy last name, even time with my half-brothers. But I said no to all of it except the college fund. That dream of being Dr. Trina Jr. was still alive. I told him, you don't get to buy your way back into my life. You show up, or you don't. We flew home. Things felt normal again. For a minute. Then he showed up. On our doorstep. In a suit. Holding a latte, looking lost in the place I called home. I asked why he was there. He said, I needed to see where you grew up. What I missed. We sat in our tiny kitchen, with the leaky sink and peeling paint. And for once, he didn't try to fix anything. He just listened. Outside, a neighborhood kid Marcus got stopped by the cops for sitting on his own stoop. Warren saw it with his own eyes. Saw how normal that kind of harassment was for us. Saw how tired we were of explaining our own existence. Before he left, he asked one thing. Can I see you sometimes? No pressure. Just, whatever time I have left, I want to spend some of it with you. Because Yehe was dying. Pancreatic cancer. Maybe a year left. It broke something in me. And maybe healed something too. A few months later, we were in court. His company had sent us new contracts trying to hush everything upless money. More control, non-disclosure garbage. We sued. The judge sided with us. Not just for me but for every kid whose name got erased because it was inconvenient. In the end, Warren left me more than money. He left me truth. A name I could claim if I wanted to. A scholarship foundation in my name. A clinic for our neighborhood that my mom now runs. And a choice. I still live in Detroit. Still in the same building. But now, there's a plaque outside the library named after me. And next fall, I start pre-med. I never got to see Warren at my high school graduation. He passed 2 weeks before. But I did get to read his letter. Said he was proud. Said I taught him more in 1 year than he learned in 5 decades. And maybe that's what it's all about. Not fixing the past, but facing it, owning it. So let me ask you something. If you were Mew, would you have forgiven him? Would you have taken the deal? Or would you have walked away from everything to stay true to the life that raised you? Drop a comment below. Tell me what you would have done. And if this story hit you in the heart, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to believe that where you come from doesn't have to define where you're going. Thanks for listening.